Guy who moves well without the ball, can really shoot it, but has a tough matchup tonight in Dylan Brooks.
So here come the Nuggets at number 2. It's their defense, which has been causing them problems, and we'll talk about that. We're on that end. Here is Caldwell Pope, and Jokic will feed, and Gordon is there, and they knock it in. At number 2, it's their defense, which has been causing them problems, and we'll talk about that. We're on that end. Here is Caldwell Pope, and Jokic will feed, and Gordon is there, and they knock it in. Number 2, it's their defense, which has been causing them problems, and we'll talk about that. We're on that end. Here is Caldwell Pope, and Jokic will feed, and Gordon is there, and they knock it in.
And their great pass to Gordon, even though he doesn't end up with the assist.
Good cut, but a block inside right there by the defensive-minded Aaron Gordon, and the other way.
And their great pass to Gordon, even though he doesn't end up with the assist.
Good cut, but a block inside right there by the defensive-minded Aaron Gordon, and the other way.
Yeah, Denver's turnovers have been one of their Achilles' heels, and where it's hurt them is on the defensive end, because it's given teams a chance to get out and run.
Caldwell Pope puts that mid-ranger in. You know, Steph, sometimes we go through these injuries, and it's just a player here. Those are two incredibly important players for each of these teams as Jackson comes up and then slammed in by Gordon right over Jackson. You know, Steph, sometimes we go through these injuries, and it's just a player here. Those are two incredibly important players for each of these teams as Jackson comes up and then slammed in by Gordon right over Jackson. You know, Steph, sometimes we go through these injuries, and it's just a player here. Those are two incredibly important players for each of these teams as Jackson comes up and then slammed in by Gordon right over Jackson. They need all they can get defensively because they're 27th in defense. And inside Gordon, he's working on the newly instated Aldama.
His lowest number of three-point attempts in the last 7 years. He's playing around the rim, and because of that, he's been ultra efficient.
Caldwell Pope 3. And as you mentioned earlier, he is the 5th best three-point shooter in the NBA. Here comes John Morant, averaging 27 a game, floats and fires. Gordon's got the ball, 5.5 to go here in the first quarter.
Was the rebounding, particularly can Denver keep Memphis off of the offensive glass?
It's huge for him. Santa Barkley is back, and he's delivering over $20 million in gifts to FanDuel customers.
To be on the perimeter, shooting a lot of jump shots. It's not a surprise that as his three-point attempts have gone down.
For the Grizzlies, and we're approaching, in fact, we're just passing the halfway point. Gordon 3, halfway point of the second quarter. Nice move. Gordon got a great position inside to get that shot eventually away. Nothing.
Just do not mean a whole lot.
Gordon crashes down. Jokic tries to get. Look at the big man dive! Look at the big man dive! They're playing Twister on the floor like bowling pins. They're down. Gordon goes inside. Jackson tries to grab it. Knocked away by Brooks. And the rebound. And here come the Grizzlies.
Just will not allow himself to be stopped going to the rim.
The Nuggets one game in back of Memphis in the Western Conference. Memphis is coming in number 1 tonight in the conference.
Incredible finish, and already down to a 9-point game.
But the other way, Gordon flies.
And that's been a problem for Jaren Jackson Jr. throughout his young career here, and even this year, is the foul trouble. We're watching great player against great player right now.
Aldama was the site of that pass. Prime the other way from Jokic. Portion of the season, the third of the way through. It's Gordon setting up from 16 with the rebound by Tyus Jones. Now, if we had the highlight of your dunk, we would have a fulfilling night. Gordon, what a pass by Jokic.
I mean, Jokic is putting on a show. One of the best teachers of the game that I've ever been around in Brendan Malone. And his mom can also offer some constructive criticism. Well, Memphis starting to really solve the zone and get the ball into the middle of that zone. I'm going to guess we don't see any more zone from the Nuggets. Well, I was wrong. Well, Memphis starting to really solve the zone and get the ball into the middle of that zone. I'm going to guess we don't see any more zone from the Nuggets. Well, I was wrong. It's like Ja Morant's brief rest is going to be over.
And the three, good. Aaron Gordon right between the eyes. Big time triple. Caldwell Pope. It's Jokic, triple-double again tonight. 11, 11, and 11. Gordon drives and throws down the anvil. 7-0 Denver run. Jokic dancing as Gordon. Three, Green. Nope, he's going to hold it and feed. And Jokic is right there on the doorstep. Going against Jackson. Spinning around. Pirouette, no. Got it to himself. Kicks it out to Gordon. Keeps it alive.
You cut it to 12. There's still time here for Memphis. Very important for Denver not to turn the ball over.
Green. Down again.
They're the second best offensive rebounding team in the league. Denver the second best defensive rebounding team. And Denver's won that battle tonight. And that's been a huge part of this. As Jokic with great touch.
Denver tonight has held the team that scores the sixth most points in the NBA. With Clark missing right in front from point-blank range. And looking for a second consecutive good defensive effort. Michael Malone felt they got it against Charlotte over the weekend. And a drive here by Gordon and a reverse.
But I think this is their best defensive game of the year based on the level of competition.